Hello, my friends. Okay, today, congratulations, you are beginning the basics of graphing. All right, so we got done with all our algebra stuff. The quadratic equation, the lesson right before this, was the last of algebra. Even though algebra is going to be used from this point forward anyway, still, we're getting into the specifics of specific lessons. In particular, the graph section. That is what we officially entered. So, specifically the coordinate plane, and that's what today's lesson is. We're going to master the coordinate plane. The coordinate plane is just a fancy word of saying the graph. All right? And we're going to deal with points and reading and writing it, but coordinate plane, the only real thing you need to know about it is its quadrants. So, in this section up here, and there's that section, and there's section. There's 4 sections, obviously, that you could visibly see. There is, each one has a name to it, right? This top one is always going to be your quadrant 1, and think of it as if it's always going counterclockwise. This is quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. Why do you need to know that? Just for the off chance that the GED test, the math test, gives you a point somewhere, and they're not even asking you the coordinates of that point. They could literally just ask you potentially what quadrant is the point located on. And obviously you need to know that this is quadrant 1. So there's that. The other thing you need to know about the coordinate plane, aka the graph, is your axis. This is kind of important. It's kind of what separates your quadrants. It is the thing there and the thing there. Obviously, what makes the cross, right? What you need to know now, most likely they'll give you the little the axis. But in case they don't, you should just always know that the horizontal axis is always going to be your x-axis, and the vertical axis is always going to be your y-axis. Okay, so this is your x and this is your y. That's going to be important in a little bit. So, you know your quadrants now. You know your axis now. How about we start learning how to read and write points, aka ordered pairs, aka coordinates. It's all different wordings, but we're just going to deal with points. So, the first thing is how to plot points. That's what we need to learn first. So, in this specific case, they give us a whole bunch of letters, and they want you to plot that letter somewhere, specifically in its coordinates, 5 and 10. So here's the thing you need to know. Points are always written as ordered pairs / coordinates, and this is how it looks like. It's always something in parentheses with the comma in the middle separating 2 numbers. Those 2 numbers in particular are the directioning to your axis points. So your x and a y. This is how ordered pairs, this is how coordinates, this is how points are always written, x and y. Okay? This is what I mean by that. Okay, I'm going to leave this up there actually. We're going to go plot the letter J. And they're telling us it's in the coordinates of 5 and 10. Specifically, your x and y, 5 and 10. All I need to do is go to my x-axis and locate that number. It's a positive 5, my friends. Right? Oh, this is a perfect example of how sometimes they're going to be skipping numbers, but it's up to you to know that this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, they give you 4, this is 5, they give you 6, this is 7, 8, and 9, right? You could kind of make sense of that just because it's going by 2s. So obviously my 5 is right there. All right. Your 10 on your y-axis is the same thing. They want you to go to your 10, right? And what you're going to do is go vertically from your x-axis and horizontally from your y-axis till you hit each other, and that'll be the location of point J. So we know they were telling us on the y-axis is located at 10 and on your x-axis is located at 5. What you just got to do is pinpoint them. This one if we go this way, this one if we go this way, we eventually hit boom right there. That, my friends, is your point J. Does that make sense? Let's do another one. Let's just get this one. Let's do a hard one. Actually, the hard one comes later. Let's go with G, the next one. Negative 6 and 8. So we're going to go locate negative G. So I know points are always written XY, right? So I'm going to go to my x-axis, and it says negative 6. Negative 6 is right there. I'm going to go to my y-axis, which is 8, right there. And I'm just going to beam them to each other. This one if I go up, this one if I go left, I'm going to hit this section right there. That's where they're going to touch, right? You don't believe me? Just look. We started there, goes up. We started there, goes there. Boom. We hit it, all right? That is my point G. Let's use the same color, G. Pretty straightforward how to plot points. The only thing you got to be worried about is your zeros. Let's do these two examples right there, your F and your E example. So let's start with F. On the x-axis, it's at 9. Positive 9 to be precise, which is right there. Okay. Where's 0 on the y-axis? This is the other thing you need to know. 0 is always going to be the middle of your graph, all right? This actually has a nickname. It's actually called the origin, all right? But the middle is always your 0 mark, okay? And it makes sense if you really look at it. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It just makes sense. That's the 0. The center is 0. So if they're saying 0 is at on your y-axis, where is 0? It's right there. You're kind of dealt with like, wait, I can't go up. What am I doing? The thing is, my friends, that is where it's located. It's practically saying when you are given a 0 for your y, wherever it is on the x-axis, in this case 9, that's where the point is going to be, right? So this is your F. Versus the other way, which is, let's say they did it reversal. Oh wait, no, that's not the example. No, they're both the same. What's a good example? I don't see it here. Well, let's just make up my own. Let's pretend this is X. We're going to locate the letter X, and let's say they're given a 0 for X, and for Y we're given 5, let's say. Let's go plot that. So same thing. Where is your x-axis? Or on your x-axis, where's the 0 mark? Right there. And on your Y, what's the Y that they gave us? They gave us a 5, right? So I got to go to my 5 on the y-axis, which is right there. In this case, this one is your y-axis. Or that specific point when they give it to you like that. They're pretty much saying when your x is on the 0, wherever your y is, that's where your point is. Those zeros are the tricky one, but you just got to deal with them. You'll get used to it. But other than the zeros, the other ones aren't difficult at all. It's just a matter of locating them on their axis point and cross beaming them till they touch. All right. Let's go now with writing points, which is the same thing, just reversal. In this case, they gave us a point, and what we need to do is write its ordered pair, aka its coordinates, which we know are parentheses and the x-axis and the y-axis on each side there. Okay, we know that already, so let's do that. How do we do that? So we know the x comes first, the x-axis, so on our point, let's just go whatever direction you need to go till you hit the x-axis. In this case, I got to go down. If I go all the way down, what number do I hit? Boom! That looks to be a -7. All right. So -7 is my x-axis number. Go back to your regular point and go whatever direction you need to go to hit the y-axis. So I have to go this direction and boom! There it is. I hit an 8. So I know the coordinates, okay, the ordered pair of G is -7 and 8. Let's just do another one. Let's do this F right there. F. I know it's going to look like that. What did I say? We always go with X, Y first. X is always first, the X-axis. So wherever your point is, head up to whatever direction you need to head up to till you hit the X-axis. In this case, I got to go up, and I hit a 2. I touched the 2 at the X-axis, so 2. And head over to the Y, whatever direction that needs to be, which is to the left, and that gives me a -4. And boom, I just found the ordered pair of the F. So my friends, in the worksheet, you'll be able to do this section. This isn't the worksheet, by the way. There's a different section. So please make sure you state the coordinates of each point that's given on the worksheet. There is a section in there in which you're technically supposed to plot, but there is no way to plot it. In terms of the worksheet, you're not able to click on anywhere on my worksheet, so you have to leave that blank. But for your own sake, just look it over, and for fun, do it. Just look at where you think you'd be and just try to master that. But when you go to submit the worksheet, those 2 questions that specifically ask you to plot each point should be empty, because there's no way. Sorry, pandemic, online learning is just the way the ball rolls. So this was a short one. Hopefully it was straightforward, and make sure you message me for any questions.